All right.
Hello and welcome to our Rotary of Little Rock Member Spotlight video with this week's Member Spotlight, Denver Peacock. Hello, Denver. How are you today?
Hey, Jennifer. Nice to be with you today. Thanks so much.
Yeah. So let's just start with how long have you been a Rotarian?
Oh, my goodness. I think it goes back to at least sometime in the mid 2000s, not long after I moved back to Little Rock after a short time in DC. And Stacy Sells, who was my supervisor at the time at CJRW, was cycling off after 2 or 3 years of me working with her at CJRW. So it's probably around 2005 as a guess, maybe 6 or 7. But anyway, it was pretty cool to do that. Andrew Matters was my sponsor, and she asked him if he would consider doing that because I replaced her on the PR committee. So.
Good. Well, in that time, I know you've had a lot of great memories, Denver, but just tell us maybe what one or two pop out in your head.
Well, the going to New Orleans or Baton Rouge, that area after Katrina was pretty remarkable, and I think we went on it was one of the international conferences that was there, and afterwards, so that was a pretty pivotal moment for me to kind of see that up close. Not long after I joined Rotary, and I think just one actually fun memory was when I was introduced. I think at the time we may have been at the DoubleTree. Literally, Aaron Lubin just runs up to the stage and pulls me down and says, "Come join my committee." It was just kind of like, but I love just the immediate acceptance once I joined Rotary from some of the members who had been members for many, many years were very accepting of me at the time. And, I still feel like I'm fairly young, but I was even super young back then. And to have someone like Aaron, who, past president, who's been so engaged and involved, to kind of immediately, encourage me to join his committee and get engaged. That was something I think we should all do a better job of embracing our newest members. I think that is a key to helping people really get integrated quickly into the Rotary family.
Yeah, and I agree. Everyone's been very welcoming since I have been involved, and Aaron Lubin is especially one of those people. So
Yeah.
he's a treasure.
Yeah.
So Denver, tell us something maybe fun and unique about yourself that everyone might not know.
Oh, goodness. Well, like Aaron Lubin, I'm on a country quest. Some people do know this, but I am right around 95 UN countries that I've visited in my lifetime. And I'm on a goal to get to 100 by the time I'm 50. And so that'll be during my Rotary year as president. And so hopefully I can get those other 5 knocked out over the next roughly 15 months or so. So that's my goal anyway.
I guess the last year has kind of put that on halt for a minute.
Yeah, it certainly has cramped my style a little bit. I'm sure it has for most folks, but I've been on a pretty good trek there for a while. My first travel overseas, well, my family, we went to Canada and Mexico as when we were like in high school age. But when I was at Ouachita, I did I did a Eurail pass with my brother, and I was kind of the chaperone of the older guys. I didn't drink at the time, so we had a fun agreement that I would get them on the Eurail pass. We would get them to the lodging. I basically planned the whole trip for 5 or 6 other guys who had just graduated from college. And my job was get them to all the museums and see all the memorials and statues. But at 5 o'clock, Denver, your job is done, and you got to get us to happy hour.
Well, that was an important part too.
So I was in charge until 5 o'clock, and then they got to do happy hour, and then of course I got us on a train usually that night to some other country. So I've knocked out probably 15 countries in Europe, and then I went back and studied again after I graduated from Ouachita, and in law school I went again, and then with President Clinton, it's just been kind of a whirlwind, and so I've knocked out a bunch of those countries before I was even 30. So.
Yeah, that's great. Well, we're gonna have to keep track of now of when you're knocking down those numbers.
Yeah, I know. I gotta, there's a lot of low hanging fruit with the Caribbean and like Costa Rica that I haven't been to. So there may be a couple of 3-day weekends in my future if we can figure out vaccines and COVID and babysitters and all that. So
Right.
that's kind of what we're looking at.
We're going to keep up with that, Denver. So, and I know the reason we're doing these videos is because we haven't been able to get together in person. So hopefully that will change sooner rather than later, but we don't know. But what are you most looking forward to when we're actually back together in person?
Well, Jennifer, I mean, that probably is the most thing that I've missed the most is just that weekly interaction with fellow Rotarians. Certainly the service projects have been a little bit more challenged, and the ability to serve like we have historically has been a little bit more difficult, but the and that's important. But I also have really missed just seeing everybody and going through the greeting table. It's so much fun to see the new greeters every week, and you never know who you're going to be in the buffet line with and what table you're going to sit at. Just that's kind of a fun thing. And I don't always arrive earliest member arrive, but I always stay late. And so I like to talk to people after it's over, the ones who aren't rushing back to work. So that's always kind of been the fun part for me. And I'm really excited to get that going again. Now, in fairness, the programs have been terrific, even in some cases have been better than what we have seen before, because we're able to get people who wouldn't ordinarily agree to speak to us or travel to Little Rock. So I've loved the programs this past year, but I have missed the human connection. I feel like the virtual just doesn't allow us to do the human connection that I think we've all missed as a society this past year.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah, the programs have been outstanding. I second that, Denver. It's been a great year of speakers. But congratulations on being this week's member spotlight, and thank you for everything you do for Rotary of Little Rock. And we hope you have a great week ahead.
Well, Jennifer, I appreciate it so much, and I'm excited about your upcoming year. So it's going to be exciting.
It's going to be fun. I'm looking forward to it. All right.
Okay, thank
Denver,
you.
thank you so much.
All right, bye, guys.